Hi, welcome to LB0 Fox India Norwegian Ham Ventures, and today is new radio day. Inside this box is a TIDRADIO TD-H8, and we're going to take a look at this today. And just so you're warned a little bit, this is going to be one of my longer videos because we're going to do this in a couple of steps. Step number one will be the physical aspects of the radio. Just take a look around the radio, see what it looks like, how it looks. Step number two will be check for harmonics. Step number three is output power. And step four is if we can program a repeater simply. We'll just call that programming. And finally, step number five is an on-air test. And we'll be doing that since my QTH is not anywhere close to any repeaters that I can really hit with an HT. We'll be doing that through my All-Star node and just do a parrot call and see what we can hear and get a little bit of an impression how the speaker is. This is not going to be a review per se. We're going to take a look at the radio, test these things, and perhaps have some opinions on how this radio is. And just so this is out of the way, this radio was sent to me by TIDRADIO. They asked if I wanted to test it. I was kind of hesitant at first because, well, it's an HT. It's hard to test and review an HT. We're going to give it an attempt though. But I asked if I could have the clear one. They said yes. And I asked if it was harmonically clean. They said yes. Asked if I could get the extended package with the 2 batteries and the 771 antenna. They said no, but still, they said yes to 2 out of 3, and to quote Meatloaf, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. So let's go ahead, get this box open, and take a look on what's inside. So let's open the box, and then we'll probably throw the box away because this is my entire workbench, what you can see here. And I previously reviewed the TIDRADIO TH3, and while that was an okay-ish radio, it was not anywhere close to harmonically clean. So I'm looking forward to see how this is. We got a user manual. Let's see what else we got. We got an antenna, which is, according to my middle-aged eyes, good for 2 meters and 70 centimeters, which is kind of good since this is a 2 meter and 70 centimeter radio. We got a belt clip. I'm not going to open the bag because there are loose screws in here. Then we have the radio itself. And as you can see, I got the transparent one just because I want something that looks a little bit different. On the radio is the battery. You can see that the belt clip screws on to the radio and not the battery. And that is, strangely enough, important to a lot of people. Let's take a look at the battery though. Battery is 7.4 volts, 2,500 milliamp hours at 18.5 watt hours. So that's the battery. It's got a FCC stamp here, no CE stamp, so that would make this legal in the US if you're not a ham, and depending on where you are, might not be legal to use in Europe without the CE stamp. In Norway, there is no requirement for an amateur radio operator to use a radio without a CE mark, so I'm good. Then it's up to the operator to see if the radio meets the requirements. We're going to take a look at this later on once we've opened the box. Let's see, I think this is wall wart. It's 5 volts, 1 amp, and a USB-A to USB-C cable for charging. And I do think this battery can be charged directly to the radio with a USB-C cable. We'll take a look at that later. And then we have the charging stand here. Nice one. Looks like it's supposed to do. Got a USB-C in, that's good. Probably not more to tell about that right now. And finally, we have a lanyard. But let's clean off the bench here and take a look at the radio first. And the first thing that strikes me is that this radio is actually quite a bit bigger than the H3 model. Relatively hefty size, feels good in the hand. Not Motorola good, but still feels like a solid radio. On top here, we got a flashlight button, which I guess is programmable. Antenna socket, SMA male on the radio, so you need a female antenna. That's pretty typical of Chinese radios. Front panel, VFO, a lot of buttons, standard buttons, looks relatively nicely set up. I usually hate, and I gotta say, I hate that the 0 is here and not here, but that's pretty common in radio, so not gonna say anything more about that. I do wish that the case was more transparent though, so you could really see what's happening on the inside. We got the standard Kenwood connector here for programming probably, and for headset speaker mic. On the other side, 2 programmable buttons, I guess. PTT button, nothing more to say. On the bottom, we got a charge indicator here and a USB-C port for the battery. And then we have the battery itself. So not more to say about the physical appearance of the radio. And as for programming though, this radio does not come with a programming cable, but my guess is that this, as with the H3, can be programmed through Bluetooth. We'll take a look at that. At least there's a Bluetooth button here. Let's see what the manual says and how the manual is. Manual looks decent. And there's a little bit about the app here. Yeah, that's the typical manual. I'm probably never going to open this. So let's see if this radio is harmonically clean though. That's the first step we're going to do, and then we'll see on the other stuff after that. But it's kind of, if the radio is not harmonically clean, the rest doesn't really matter. So let's go ahead and test that. And you can see that the Tiny SA has entered the stage. And first of all, we need this adapter here, this barrel connector, since it's an SMA male connector on the radio. And as I said in my initial look at the Tiny SA video, I am not an expert user, so please let me know if I do this in the wrong way. I'm going to try to measure the harmonics as simple as possible. Then we're going to get a meter up and connect that to a demo load and check the output power. So first of all, let's get the Tiny SA turned on here. I'm going to try and keep it so it's visible. And we're going to do this as simple as possible. First of all, we're going to set the frequency, start frequency at let's do it 140 megahertz. Stop frequency at, let's stop that at about 600 megahertz. I think that should be good. That should let us see some of the harmonics here. And let's just press the PTT button here and see what happens. And of course nothing happens because we got to turn the radio on. You can see that the radio turned on 145.5. Press the button. Yeah, I'm going to say that this is a clean pass. No visible harmonics on this. So we're good with the harmonics test. So let's get on to the other things like testing the output power and see how that is. And I wish I had a better way of showing you this because I need to have the power meter such that I can see it myself and you guys can see it. And I'm kind of limited in ways of putting this up here. And this is not the best power meter, but it'll give us an indication. So let's go ahead and measure some power here. And the power meter is connected to a dummy load here, so no RF is going out. Let's check it first on the high setting. And remember, this is supposed to be a 10 watt radio, and this meter is not by any means going to give us accurate results. but we flat out at about 8 watts on high power. Let's check medium and low power as well. And we're now on medium power. Let's see how much power we get out of the radio now. And that's a little bit shy of 3 watts. A little bit less than expected, but still good. Let's check low power. And those two tests, and this test is on 2 meters. We'll do a quick test on high and low power on 70 centimeters after we're done with this. And on low power, about 1 watt. So there we go. On high power, 8 watts, 3 watts on medium power, and 1 watt on low power. Let's just check 70 centimeters just to be sure here and see if we get any more power there. And we're on 70 centimeters low. About 2 watts on 70 centimeters low. On 70 centimeters medium, we're at about 4.5 watts. And on 70 centimeters high, about 6.5 watts. So we're not close to those 10 watts that are promised, but that's not surprising from a Chinese radio. I was kind of expecting it to not be the full 10 watts out. Let's go ahead and see if we can program this radio now over Bluetooth and see what happens. And I gotta say though, it's always smart to think before you say something. And my plan was to show you this from my phone, but this camera up here is actually my phone. So I got my ham radio Android tablet here, which I got for ham radio use. I basically use it only for ham radio. And sometimes Netflix, as you can see. But let's go ahead, and first we need to figure out what this app is called though. And this is the only time I'm going to consult the manual. I like to see that this is actually easy to do without a manual. And most radios are pretty much the same. Let's see if there's anything in the table of contents here about Bluetooth and app. Nothing here, but I saw a picture of the app in when I just flipped through here. Just see if we can find that. It's called the Odd Master. So let's find the Odd Master here and download that. Enter the Play Store. Let's just do Oddmaster here. And apparently Oddmaster is not working on this tablet. And since the app wasn't supported on the tablet, my wife's old Android phone has come to the rescue. So let's see what we can do here. And download the app and we'll open it up and see what happens. And while this is installing, I am guessing we got to press the Bluetooth button on the radio. So let's just go ahead and do that while the app installs. And there's a Bluetooth icon on the display here. Let's see if you can see that. It's right up here. So we should be good there. Now it's just a matter of waiting for the app to install. And the app is installed. The Bluetooth is on the phone. So let's see what happens. We're going to open the app. And if I remember correctly with the H3, you can actually, well, you got to agree to the terms here. You got to do that, but you can skip a login. And I honestly don't want to log in. Turn on Bluetooth and connect the matching device, okay? Select the model. Okay. Read from radio, program and setting, and all the doodle-doo-doo here is just that this phone has not been on in a while. Let's see here. Pair the device with the app. Well, let's give it permission to do this. Make sure Bluetooth is turned on. Okay, let's see here. Okay, yeah, we pair it in the app. Okay, haven't used Android in a long time. It is paired. Select the radio, TIDRADIO TD-H8 ham. Let's read from the radio. The radio says Bluetooth program and shows a progress bar here, so something is happening. This is why I do these segments, just to see if it's possible to do this without the manual, without any hassles. We've read from the radio. Okay. It says all the things we can do. And let's do channel 1 here. Let's program the local repeater here. And that's 145.775. TX frequency 145.145. It's a 600 hertz repeater offset. And we need to put a transmit tone here at, see if we can get the keyboard to disappear. 123 hertz, high power, and we're in Norway, so it's narrow band. Add to scan list, and we're going to give it a name. Let's see, okay, something happens here. 145.175. Should be good there. 145.175. Okay. Beyond the frequency range, okay, why does that happen? 145.175. 00. Okay, something's not right here. And long story short with this app, I've filmed a lot of clips here. You're not going to see those. I simply cannot get the app to work. I am relatively sure that this can be programmed with Chirp. I'll check that while I edit the video and put an overlay somewhere here so you can see if it's Chirp programmable. We're not going to do this right now though. I'm just going to confirm that it's Chirp programmable, and then you'll need a K connector programming cable for this. So, but the app, no go for this radio. So let's go ahead, just enter the hotspot manually though, and see if we can make a parrot QSO over the All-Star node, and hopefully that'll work. And while I was pausing the recording here, I just checked on the Chirp website, and this radio is Chirp programmable, so I'm guessing that's the way to go. A little bit sad to see that the Bluetooth programming does not work, but I guess it is what it is though. So, but let's enter my All-Star node here. 433950. And we should be good to do a parrot test here.
Welcome to the HubNet Parrot node. This node analyzes your audio level and then plays it back to you. Connected to node 54817.
And we're connected to the parrot node, so let me try to get a little bit closer to the mic here and do a test. This is Lima Bravo 0 Fox India testing. Lima Bravo 0 Fox India testing.
Your audio is perfect. Here is your playback.
This is Lima Bravo 0 Fox India testing. Lima Bravo 0 Fox India testing.
And as you can see, this radio works. It passed the on-air test. Let's get ahead and get my cheat sheet here and see where we are though, since we're at the end of the video. Physical quality, passes that. Harmonics passes that. Output power, nah, a little bit low, but we'll give it a pass. Programming, nope, sorry, not passed. You will have to resolve to chirp for this. Not that that's really bad, but just so you know, I cannot get that Bluetooth app to work. If I did anything wrong with the Bluetooth app, just let me know down in the comments though, because I might have done this wrongly, but as far as I can see, it does not work. And the on-air test is a pass. So as I said in the intro, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Well, here we are, 4 out of 5. Well, that ain't bad either. The programming part will be solved with chirp. That means if you don't have a cable though, you need to get a cable with this radio. I don't think chirp supports Bluetooth. That also means, since this video already is more than long enough, that I gotta get back and do a bit of how to program this radio in chirp video later on at a later time. But as a quick overview though, I'd say this radio ain't half bad. And at the time of recording, this package I got with a crystal radio is $49.99 over TIDRadio. I'll leave an affiliate link for TIDRadio down below, or at least I'll leave a link for it down below. What I'll also do is leave an AliExpress affiliate link if you want to shop from there. For me, being from Norway, TIDRadio does not cover the sales tax and the import duties on it, while AliExpress does that. So if the price ain't half bad over on AliExpress, I haven't checked, that might be an option for you. Anyhow, 2 links down below to where to get this radio. I'm not gonna say it's an HT, it's not that exciting. It's a little bit cool that it's transparent. I'd wish it was a little bit more transparent though, easier to see what was going on inside. I mean, that's kind of the point of a transparent case. Sturdy, well built, thumbs up for me thus far on this short test. If you got any opinions, and I'm sure you do, leave a comment down below. Hit that thumbs up button if you liked the video, and there's also a thumbs down button if you didn't like the video. That'll give me an indication if this is what you want to see, although the viewer numbers also gives me that indication. Don't forget to subscribe. I'd love more subscribers. I'm close to 5,000 at the moment. Please help me reach that 5,000 mark. I'd be happy for that. And I guess that's it for now. See you down the bands, see you in my next video, and see you on the European Ham Radio Show. I'm Morten, LB0 Fox India. You're watching LB0 Fox India Norwegian Ham Ventures 7-3.